Reality is the world as we know it. It's all the information we understand, yet probably only a fraction of the knowledge available in the universe. And some of that knowledge will remain unattainable. Because we as humans tend to only believe what we see and believe what we've experienced to be true. Let's understand this a little bit better through Plato's theory, allegory of the cave. Plato describes three prisoners hidden in a cave since birth. When one escapes and returns with newfound information about the world, the others don't believe him because their reality is the cave and nothing more than that. What Plato is trying to highlight here is the importance of sight and experience in shaping people's realities. And this can inhibit our ability to learn and understand more than just what's in front of us. So if reality is what we see and therefore believe, fiction must be the complete opposite, right? It's what we haven't seen and might not comprehend. The other prisoners disregarded the fiction the first prisoner told them because they couldn't understand those unprecedented ideas. When we read fiction, we inevitably begin to compare the imaginary world to our real one and note the differences. But oftentimes, we disregard these new and different possibilities because it's fiction. It's not real. It'll never be real. However, Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Fiction reveals truth that reality obscures." While our narrow perceptions can prevent us from acknowledging realities we think are unrealistic, the outlandish world of fiction forces us to question the world as we know it. This foreshadows possible realities and even inspires individuals to match them. Let's take a look at some science fiction novels that prove this phenomenon. Take Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, for example. This dystopian novel describes a world in which the government forces everyone to take a hallucinatory drug, known as soma, to create a submissive population. This novel, published in 1932, was spectacularly different from the reality at the time. Yet, over the past couple of decades, we've seen a similar situation of increasing prescription drug addiction, which triggered the opioid crisis. Now, while this isn't some large-scale conspiracy by the government to try and control its citizens, our reality of high dependence on and addiction to prescription drugs has in some capacities mirrored the unbelievable reality of Brave New World. Similarly, there are connections between our current world and the reality of George Orwell's 1984. This novel introduced the idea of surveillance over a population to prevent criminal activity against the government. This fictional concept, which was unimaginable at the time of publication, became a part of our current reality with the introduction of CCTV systems and the NSA's collection of internet communication data to monitor potential threats. Although our surveillance isn't as extreme as in 1984, our reality has still mirrored the ability to be controlled by the government. So we've seen that fiction can foreshadow the future. But fiction has also directly inspired individuals to bring new concepts to life. Inventor Simon Lake was inspired by Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is a fictional novel about an adventurous journey underwater to design his own subaquatic vehicle. Lake created the first open water submarine, the Argonaut, and credited the novel for its conception. By reading this novel, Lake's mind was opened up to a new idea, an idea that wouldn't have come across easily in his everyday life, but is so impactful to the United States Navy, for example. Likewise, Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek inspired Martin Cooper, a developer at Motorola, to design the first mobile phone. In Star Trek, the characters use communicators, or wireless communication devices, to speak with each other from long distances. Cooper's base design of the mobile phone was inspired by this fictional device. From this work, Cooper was inspired to create one of the most fundamental aspects of our world today. Because of its outlandish characteristics, fiction has the ability to motivate individuals to break out of their stagnant realities and drive innovation. Fiction has and will continue to play an integral role in illuminating the future. After all, if we're locked up as prisoners in the cave of reality, we have to use fiction to break through the chains and open our minds to new possibilities and experiences. Here's something to think about. In Jeff Ryman's novel Air, set in 2020, humans are able to access the internet with their minds. Interestingly, inventor Ray Kurzweil predicts that humans will be able to actually achieve this using implanted nanobots by 2030. This piece of fiction seems far-fetched, doesn't it? But it just might have given us a glimpse into what our lives will be like in the next decade. When you think about it now, fiction isn't just limited to being a source of entertainment. It has the power to make us realize ideas and concepts that we never thought could be possible. And these realizations can make us more aware of the direction that our society is moving in, and even make us more inspired to do the impossible. Instead of brushing off these kinds of novels as pure make-believe, I encourage you to consider what truths can be uncovered from these works. You never know when these outlandish possibilities will become our new realities. Thank you.